Do we know the meaning of stereotyping? Well, stereotyping is when you judge a group of people who are different from you based on your own or others' opinion or encounters. A stereotype is simply a widely held belief that an individual is a member of a certain group based on some characteristics. Due to the process of overgeneralization within social perception, stereotyping leads to a great deal of inaccuracy in social perception. And you know what? It could be very harmful. In my family, one of my brothers unluckily was a victim of stereotyping. When he was just a kid, when he was attending school, teachers stereotyped him as a bad student. Perhaps his grades were not the best, he was putting a lot of effort. But his teachers, they began to point out his mistakes and they made him believe that he was a bad student and that he was not capable for performing some things. My mom was really concerned about this, and she changed my brother to another school. I can say that he was not the same since that time. His character, his interpersonal relationship, his behavior changed dramatically. He started to isolate from others, and this consequence affect also his perspective. His health started to decrease, and for him those consequences were just the beginning. Because of his behavior, when he became a teenager, he was admonished at church, and he decided to get offended. For his bad luck, some members of our world stereotyped him as someone unworthy. They point him out and judge him. This was really devastating for him, and he decided to leave the church. Now he is 21 years old. His heart is filled of a lot of anger and disappointment for all the people that judge and point him in one way or another. He became a less active member. Well, he is my brother, but for me it's so sad to see how he became into another person. The truth is that being stereotyped by close people will affect our life forever. One of the main reasons why stereotypes are harmful is because they can lead to errors in decision making that carry the potential for negative consequences. What are viewed as stereotypical traits in people can be significantly overestimated and result in discriminatory biases that affect legal, employment-based and interactive decision making. The negative effects that stereotyping causes in people are many. Some of the negative effects are harm, poor performance in different activities, and even health problems. According to the article Long-Term Effects of Stereotyping, published in PsychCentral.com, Rick Nauer argues how people can be affected by stereotypes even after being exposed to them. Nauer bases his argument based on a study of the University of Toronto that shows how people get hurt because of a stereotype and how it could affect their performance in different tasks. He said, people are more likely to be aggressive after they have faced prejudice in a given situation. They are more likely to exhibit a lack of self-control. They have trouble making good, rational decisions, and they are more likely to overindulge on unhealthy foods, say Michael Inslich, who led the research. Stereotypes are creating problems in our kids. This problem can affect children in many ways. We can see the negative effects in many areas, such as the academic area. In the article, Awareness of Racial Stereotype Happen at an Early Age Has Consequence, published in berkeley.edu, Carl Heeman shows how stereotypes could cause problems in people from early age. He supports his claim based on a study of the University of Berkeley that shows how racial stereotypes make the children perform poorly in school. He mentions how we could solve these problems. Heeman says that schools should change the way tests are described, eliminate stereotypes and prejudice, and adopting classroom practice to reduce competition. If we want new generation to be successful, we need to do something to change it. This problem is really creating confusion in kids because they are growing up thinking that they should be one way because society thinks that's the ideal. Stereotypes are also creating a false idea of how they interact with other individuals. Many of the stereotypes that children receive are through media. We can't change this because it's the way our society works. But we can teach our children to value other people for what they are, not what they appear to be. It is also important to teach our children to respect each other regardless of sex, sexual orientation, race, culture, religion, personality, and much more. It is important to teach them these values because they are the future of our society. So we can see that stereotyping is a current need and we must do something. So what we need to do is first a personal change. We need to realize on the negative effect that stereotyping causes in people, knowing that it is very harmful for others. For doing this, we need to change our way to see others. The secret is to find in others common things. Instead of looking on them different, instead of judging, criticizing, and point out errors and mistakes, we should look for virtues and good things. And I promise you that you will notice that we are not so different at all. According to many articles about stereotyping in web pages such as nobullying.com, independent.com, and bu.edu, we read statistics shows that stereotyping and bullying are more likely to occur at school and high school in early age, and it is because of the wrong example of adults that kids and teenagers adopt such kind of wrong behaviors. So after changing our way to see others, we need to help our kids to do the same. Remember that children are the future of our society. In this second step, we need to practice what we have changed, because the best way to teach our children is by our example. And by talking with our kids and explaining that we need to see others for what they really are instead of what they appear to be, we will be contributing to minimize the effects of this problem for future generations. And finally, the last step is to help others to know about this current need. By sharing this information and by helping people to realize on the negative consequence of this kind of wrong behaviors, we will be contributing and helping to make the world a better place for everyone. So what are you waiting? Do you want someone in your family for being a victim of this kind of wrong behaviors? Please don't waste your time and let's start making some personal change for being able to help our kids and help others to make the world a better place for all of us.